computer. All right, welcome. And we're going to have a little bit of a conversation about Wealth Amplified, the live course, and talking to two participants today, Kasia Juska and Stephanie Rising. And they're going to tell you a little bit about how the course impacted them. And I'm going to lead by asking a couple of questions. So, Kasia, Stephanie, how has your behavior around money changed from doing this course?
Well, for me, the biggest impact has been I started socking away money every month. I never did that before. So I've been really consistent, and I think partly because I don't know, there were incentives. I was inspired. I mean, I was very inspired, and yeah, and just the kind of talk that Pam gave about the importance of it and setting that goal, it really made an impact. So,
thank you. How about you, Steph?
I think for me, one of the big differences is being able to have spending and saving coexist and not feeling like I have to be deprived or you have to be disciplined for 40 years before you see the payoff. And so I think that all of the little competing voices that were in my head before in terms of I want to spend, I want to have fun, life is short, and I need to save, I need to be practical, I need to be disciplined for my future, that all got reconciled. Now, instead of there being a big financial food fight in my head, it's like all the kids have a seat at the table and everybody has a voice, and I'm able to play and I'm able to do things that promote my future security. And that's a really good feeling.
Great, thank you. Thanks for sharing. Now, I know one of the areas that Wealth Amplified really makes a difference in is in relationships. You know, whether you have a spouse or a partner or even a significant other, however you want to call it. So what has been the biggest impact on your communication between you and your spouse around finances?
Oh, for me, that was really, as you said, that was really a big part of it for me. My husband he's a money guy. I mean, he's got it. He can, go to the grocery store and before we check out, he's already figured out to the penny how much that bill is going to be. It's amazing. And I always am a little bit averse to numbers, and I like to just, I make it, I spend it, it's that kind of thing. So, and money has always been a little bit of a hot button item between us. So when we did the assessment and we met with Pam, and I saw that we have money personalities that are very different from each other. And there was such a level of, I guess it was like an aha moment, like, oh my God, even though I somehow knew that, I guess there was self-judgment and judgment about him and vice versa. And after we did that, it's almost like, well, you're blonde and you're a brunette. It was just like we're different people around money. We have a different, in so many ways. And it just really made it a lot more, I don't know, it was easier to accept the differences and also embrace them and appreciate them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that had to do with Pam's presence. It wasn't just you Pam, I shouldn't say Pam, right there. But, you're being there with us and having conversation about it and encouraging conversation between the two of us. And it was just really impactful. So since then, I feel like, it really has changed, and we're a real, it's subtle, but it's almost like a little bit more level of respect and acceptance in how we handle money, and also talk more freely, or we consult with each other a little bit more about things like making a purchase.
Oh, that's great. And how long have you been together?
25 years.
The reason
Yeah.
I ask that is because I want anybody who's watching this video to understand that it doesn't matter if you're newly together or if you've been together for decades, that what happens in that conversation, it does allow for more freedom and more respect and honesty between the couples, usually as a result of doing the money profile.
Although it would have been really nice to have that.
It would. How about you, Steph?
Well, George and I have been together. We've been together for 12 years. We've been married for 10. And so for all those 10 years, we've been commingling our money. And he definitely enjoys having fun and wants to experience things in life. He looks at the value of all of that a lot differently than I do, which tends to make him a lot more conservative with money than me. I tend to fall into more of the you only live once category. And I think what really helped going through and taking the money profile is it's so easy to take the position with each other. Well, that's just something that you want. And I think in taking the profile, we understand, no, those are things that we actually need, that we're just wired that way. And one of the things that I had not appreciated about him before the profile is he needs not to feel like the bad guy around money. And he needs to be in a position where he doesn't always have to tell me no and be the financial heavy. Because he loves me and he wants me to be happy. He also wants the ability to retire, and I don't blame him. So it's been very helpful to be able to come together and talk about ways in which to spend money and have fun, and how that is a part of life, just as much as saving for the future and having a cushion and money in the bank is a part of life. And now there's room for everything at the table. And I think that he's been so relieved by not having to be the bad guy, because there's always a bad guy in the relationship. There's always like the money manager in the relationship. And that's kind of a lousy place to put your loved one in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not resentful about that. And he doesn't have to devote a lot of energies to that. And what I've noticed is that ever since I started respecting his need not to serve that role, he's really gone out of his way to find ways to have fun and go out on dates and experience things together, because he now respects that as a need and not just a want of mine. So I completely agree with what Kasha is saying in terms of just elevating mutual respect in the relationship around money. It's been very productive.
Okay, I got to change it up with one more question, which neither one of you knows. I'm going to ask this, but as a result of doing the Wealth Amplified course and been through the program, if I use these words: freedom, confidence, and responsibility. What can you say about those three words as a result of your participation? I know I just threw a fast one at you.
Right. I think that there is, I think freedom is something that, well, thinking about money, of course, financial freedom is something that is attainable. And I guess I feel that more so now, because instead of it being like such a big, lofty, out there goal, it's one of the things that you did in the workshop was, how to set those milestone goals to, get you to the bigger ones, so that you can take it in steps or in sips. So it's attainable, I think. And and then as far as confidence, I think just the fact that I am doing that one thing each month of putting a percentage of my check in a savings account, in a, putting it away, has given me a lot of confidence about my ability to achieve bigger goals, bigger financial goals. And I guess that also goes along with responsibility. That, it's no matter how I am with money, it's my responsibility. It's not somebody else's to be, it's like whatever your personality is around money, you can make it work for whatever you want, instead of like sort of saying, oh, I'm not good with money, or I'm not good at saving. It just kind of like goes out the window, because you can do whatever you want, but it is your responsibility. So I hope that answers your question.
That was perfect.
Okay.
That was perfect. Thank you. Anything to add, Steph?
I definitely feel like I have more freedom around it's funny that freedom and responsibility are now coexisting so easily and side by side, whereas before they were always fighting one another. They felt like opposing forces. But going through your program, I really feel like the more responsible I am and the more disciplined I am, regularly looking at where's the money coming in, where's the money flowing out, what is left at the end of it, and really being in tune with the cycle of money in our lives has given me more freedom, because it's to just go out and spend money, that's not freedom. Because if you're spending what you may think you have or you may not think you have, that it's always tinged with anxiety. So that's not really freedom. Just doing whatever you want whenever you want. But having the power behind it, that's made a huge difference. And the confidence level that we now have, not just a baseline understanding, but a much more mature and developed understanding of that cycle of money and how money can make more of itself if you just kind of leave it alone for a little while and you stop touching it. And meeting regularly with a financial planner such as yourself, I just feel a lot more power around my finances than I did before. It was a guessing game before, and now I have a game plan, and that's just a huge shift.
Great, thank you. Thank you both for participating in this, and I hope those of you that are watching it, you now take the steps to join us for this next live video conference calls. Just press the button and go ahead and register. Thank you again. Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Pam.